Wow, there's been a lot of convention news today. In our last video, we covered the mainstream media attempting to get Gina Carano banned from Vancouver Fan Expo. But there's science fiction conventions going on in the next couple weekends as well. There's one called Confusion. They always use these like pun names, con something, Confusion, Baycon. They're, it's just a silly way that they do things. But a lot of people just don't attend these anymore. Nobody cares. They made them unfamily-friendly events. Moira Graylin detailed in her book, The Last Closet, about how these conventions were actually used as groom rooms a lot of time. And they put in weird BDSM dungeons in the hotel rooms and things like that. Really nasty place. So nobody really takes the kids to these science fiction conventions anymore because you can't. There's creeps there. And of course, nobody's creepier than Patrick S. Tomlinson. If you don't know the lore behind Patrick S. Tomlinson, he is a failed tour books author who's one of the wokest of the woke. He's made his entire career by provoking people on Twitter and then crying victim about it. He, of course, had a lawsuit against a anonymous forum, the Opie and Anthony forums, and lost, and of course owed the forum owner thousands and thousands of dollars because of his frivolous lawsuit. Absolutely crazy. He's tried to file restraining orders on people for showing up to public places, and of course failed in those efforts as well. But of course, he just is the type of psychopath who just like really, really hones in and cries victim about everything, creates his own victim narrative, does weird things. And today's another example of this as we're going to get into what's happening at Confusion. All right, my name's John Delarose. I'm a #1 best-selling author and award-winning comic creator myself. And of course, if you like science fiction, check out my books. I've got my web store right here, which I recommend The Stars Entwined, Colony Launch, or Justified as a starting point for you. All these books I ship out immediately myself. A lot of them are also available on audio on Amazon if you guys want to go check those out too. And I appreciate you guys supporting our, of course, non-degenerate science fiction. We never get invited to these conventions because we are, of course, the most trusted name in science fiction news on the internet. And they don't want these stories to get out there about what these conventions are doing. They used to be about fun. They used to be about talking about books and Star Trek, things like that. Now they're about talking about sexual deviancy and actually destigmatizing it. This is what Patrick S. Tomlinson is doing at this convention. This is not a joke. I looked this up myself. This is Base Papist on X reported this. I've learned that, Pat, why didn't you kill your crippled kid, you bastard? Yes, you said that. Tomlinson is also scheduled to give a talk on positively representing STDs, that's sexually transmitted disease, in science fiction. Degenerates, the lot of them. Here it is. The panel at this Confusion is called Alien Crabs and Dragon Pox. What the F are these? These people are sick. These are adults. How venereal diseases are portrayed in science fiction and fantasy, and why we need more of it in a sex-positive light. And there it is, primary speaker is Patrick S. Tomlinson. So do we need, this doesn't make, gross. I'm just at a loss for words. I'm trying to come up with my thoughts on this, and it's like, how would you want this to be positive? Why are you trying to destigmatize sexually transmitted diseases? They should be stigmatized. Anybody who has one should warn a person before engaging in stuff. And if you don't, you should be criminalized. We used to have that here in America. Of course, that's been taken away by the Democrats because they all have sexually transmitted diseases. And maybe that's where Patrick S. Tomlinson's coming from here, because Patrick talks about how he's, quote, into things quite a bit. And of course, what he means by that is weird sexually deviant things. And he loves talking about that. He loves pushing that kind of thing, as most of the woke populace do. That's why nobody wants to buy their books, because they're disgusting. And that's why nobody wants to go to these conventions, because it's disgusting also. But at the same time, that's the agenda that they want. And they really want to push it on kids. We know this with all these trans drag shows going on these recent days at schools and around places like comic book shops. Absolutely disgusting. But Patrick might have a motive for going out and wanting sexually transmitted diseases destigmatized. This is a tweet of his from 2018 where he's arguing with somebody on the internet, and he argues with everybody on the internet. If you have an X account and you want to just prod Patrick S. Tomlinson, he will reply to you at length. Of course, probably block you too, but he'll get that reply in first because he's got to have the last word. And this is what he was saying to somebody: "I take my pants off, son, and everyone has herpes except virgins." Full stop. Well, I don't, Patrick, and I have kids, so I don't know where that comes from, but absolutely wild. So he basically admits through this tweet that he at least has herpes going on down there, which is creepy. And he says, which explains why you're clean. So like SJWs always do, they self-own in these sort of like clapbacks, the clapbacks, Patrick. Jesus. And here it is. He says, now go jerk off to your one follower. Very weird. Like, why would you say this? And why would you basically admit on a social media platform that you have an STD? Absolutely crazy. I don't know what's going on, but that does explain why he would want to, again, destigmatize stuff. And gosh, what a crazy panel. Why would you do this at 10 a.m.? So this is like not an after dark adult only panel. This is like in the morning, like when families are present. Weird. Why this convention's disgusting just for putting this up there, but it is what it is. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this, and hopefully you're laughing. Hit that like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.